Welcome back, everybody. Mobile Service Monday. I'm Dave Foy, along with my always co-host, Jeremy Stevens, Remote Operations Director at Bozard Ford Lincoln. Jeremy, welcome back. It's another Monday.
Another Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. I'm excited today. Um, got some great news. We got a couple of cool things to talk about today. Um, you know, a lot of stuff going on. And, I know we hadn't talked about this before, but it looks like we had a Toyota store visit our Ford store today. Um,
Interesting collaborations in the automotive industry happening.
Definitely is. And this is a big dealership group. So it's like, man, when I'm hearing their stories, I'm like, that's a lot of opportunities. It's like you got a couple of dealerships, same brand. I was like, oh my gosh, that would be a dominating force right there.
Yeah, you would think that Toyota, who's typically a pretty forward-thinking automaker, and somebody who with Toyota Care really got it into the heads of their customers to do maintenance, that they would have jumped on mobile service long ago to retain those
Yeah, because what I understand is they pretty much give them either 4 or 5 oil changes on the maintenance plan right there, and it's already there. And I haven't, I never worked at a Toyota dealership, but when I worked on cars, it's like there was only like 2 or 3 oil filters for a Toyota, and I imagine they're maybe all topside now. I don't know. Maybe somebody say in the chat. It's almost like it's set up perfectly with the Toyota or even a Honda store.
people.
It's like they're small cars. You don't got to have like a 4-ton jack or anything like that. It's
Right.
quick and fast.
Yeah, and it's not like Ford where there's 42 different oil filters for each vehicle.
Semi synthetic, blend, a little bit of everything. Yeah, the domestics. Yeah, yes. I'm so excited about this team. Just set another record. So got over 2,100 repair orders. So uh, and it is crazy. So here at Bozar, we have a tradition of actually snapping an actual record, and and what makes this cool, the majority of people here were on my team over 2 years ago when we first started this journey, and we were in the beginning we were snapping these records every month because we were building, we were moving fast, and there was some breaking of the records that probably wasn't safe, and I'm not going to tell you this one instead because it's like it kind of back. Nobody got hurt, but I was like, oh my gosh, we got to stop doing this. But what was cool about it, and Nate was on the show. We had Nate on the show a couple of times, so he was the one helping me break this record, and this was probably a year and a half ago, and I think the record we just broke was like 800. And he made the comment in the video that's like, man, we're so close to that sweet 1,000, and it's amazing. We got to 2,000 last October, and now we, you know, broke that record again this past month. And now I'm thinking, it's like, man, that 2,500 is not that far away now. It's right there. And I tell people all the time, I was like, man, I just still feel like we're just getting started with this stuff just because there's so much opportunities out there.
Yeah, so it was only less than 6 months ago you went from 2,000 to 2,100,
Uh,
right? So
Yep, exactly. And now I will be honest with you, after that 2,000 mark, we hit a wall. And then the next month, we hit a wall. Yeah, just like any business. It's like, man, are you done? And then it's like, well, what the heck happened? We were at 2,000 and now we're back at 17, 1,800. And I remember going home, one night I was like, I was talking to Michelle. I was like, something is off and I don't know what it is. I was like, the team's fine. It's like something's off. So I do a lot of reading, not as much as I did, a couple years ago. So I went back. I was like, I remember this book that kind of got me out of a ditch one time, and I found it. And I was going through it, and it was a short read, and I was like, "There's a perfect reset." And you know what the problem was?
You
You know what I mean? I was like, because you get to a point where you get so, you're driving and you're going and you're going and you're going, and Michelle, my wife, gets on me all the time. It's like you've gone a long way, and I was like, yes, but look at this team I got. We should be like way over there, and and I lose track of that, and I went back, and this book just reminded me of the fundamentals basically, and everybody has to go to that point. It's like, okay, let's go back to the fundamentals. Let's start with the processes. Is processes working? Are the people right? Is the scorecard right? You're going back through, are your meetings, are you just
right?
having a meeting just to have a meeting, or does it actually have intent and purpose on it? So so definitely dialed into it. But I know that was a long story, but here's the thing that I'm excited about, because um, we did this without AI. Because
Hey,
AI is to do
it's impossible. You cannot run a dealership without AI. You can't do it.
you know, I will say I love AI. I love it to death. I think it's great. It's another tool, and I use it quite often. But on this piece that I'm about to tell you what we did, AI actually it did help us in the beginning to come up with, hey, I'm this. If I want to go out and reach more customers, what should I do? Possibilities, or give me a list of HVAC companies in St. Augustine, whatever. It still can do a lot of that piece of it. Um, but I will tell you, the one thing that changed after I got myself out the gutter and fixed myself, and really did what I should have been doing. Um, we started going back to this old school customer service, which we've always did, but then take it a step further. We attended every chamber event, every networking event, every ribbon cutting event that's out there. Um, on average, I probably go anywhere from 3 to 5 networking events a week. And it could be in the morning, at lunch, afternoons, or at night. So for the past 3 months, I've been tired. Um, and even ourselves, even Stephanie, our outside salesperson that helps us with mobile, she's been going out after customers, and it takes time. It took about 3 months, but then it started slowly trickling in. Finally, building these relationships with people outside our company.
So I know you joke that you did it without AI, right? But you started by building the list. It's the perfect use case, right? Where a lot of people are thinking about replacing people with AI as opposed to enhancing people with AI, right? And you use the AI to create the list, to do all that minutia hard work of just digging stuff up like that, right? You let AI do that, that can do it in a fraction of the time a human can do it. And then the humans, you and your outside sales rep and the other parts of the team, go out and actually touch people, shake hands, and meet
Yeah,
people, talk to them, right? That AI is never going to be able to do, right? It can't do that part. So you let AI do the parts that it can, and the humans go and do the part that it can't, and that's what got your machine moving and got you past that wall that you were hitting.
yeah, and it was, because it's like you get to a point. It's like I need a new idea or whatever it is, and I use it quite often. Even if I'm approaching a big fleet customer, I'll put in chat. It's like, hey, I'm trying to contact somebody from this company. Who should I contact? And I was like, hey, email this person. And I say, let me do a cold call email to see if they're interested. How would I write it? And it's like boom, 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 and then off to the races. Uh, then they'll kind of tell me, it's like, hey, in 2 days, do a follow up and call this phone number and start off with this. So
Yeah,
kind of tees me up and gets my, and I don't read it line by line because I got to put my personal touch on it. But it's like, oh, I know exactly what to do now.
mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, and look, I've obviously, anybody who's been on LinkedIn knows I put out a lot of content on LinkedIn. I'm not the greatest writer, and the thing that AI has helped is me being able to write more because it can I can take my idea, or I can write the post that I would have written, and then it can help enhance that post, right? And make it because I'm 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 a to the point kind of person, and that's the way I wrote, right? And if I can kind of expand that into a little more of a story that people actually want to read, right? There's a reason I don't write novels like Stephen King because he puts all these details in, and I'm just like, here's your point. It's a two sentence novel, you know. So
Exactly. And so I had to program my AI. It's like, hey, bring it down to about ninth grade reading level, make it sound country like I'm from North Carolina, and we're all good.
that's great.
Oh man, but yeah, so that is one thing that we did. We went to networking events and to the point where we didn't know if it was working or not. After we really pushed right after actually November, we started pushing networking events. And December with the holidays, there was a lot of people out, but stuff was still happening. January, we got submerged in it. February, and then I'm looking at my team. I was like, we are putting a lot of energy in this, and we're not getting a return on it. And it's like it was defeating because it's like I'm naturally introverted, so when I do these networking, it wears me out.
Oh, yeah, me too.
That's why I try to bring my wife Michelle with me because she's like full of energy when she starts talking to people, and it drains me. So she kind of counters me. But it's like, man, is it even working? And then finally, so if anybody's out there that's been doing this for a while, it will work. It may take 3 to 5 months, but it'll start trickling in, and that's exactly what happened. The last 2 weeks of March, they started coming in and it started flowing, and then we started building something on it, and it still continues today. We had lunch with another fleet customer today, and it's like, man, and then I found out, oh yeah, we're all over the place, and we had this networking. We had about 70, a couple years ago. Now there's 300 of us, and we all have like 70 plus vehicles. I was like, that is pretty cool.
Absolutely. And that's you hit on a key point there where you can't do your networking and think you're going to go to one event, two events, and that it's just going to work. Customers are just going to flow in, right? It's something that you have to continually be doing, right? And it's just like Coca-Cola probably doesn't need to actually advertise on TV anymore, right? They do, right? They're constantly putting themselves in front of you so that you see it, so that you are top of mind. And it's the same thing that we need to do. We need to constantly be putting ourselves in front of our customers and potential customers so that they do think of us when it is time for something to happen.
Exactly, because if you're that one hit guy that only comes about once a month, they're going to forget about you. But it did take, and you start seeing the same people, and what's cool about it is like when you walk in the room, people start recognizing you, and it's like, hey, let me introduce you to this person, and that's exactly what happened. I met one person, and I'm involved in two different chamber groups here, so I go bouncing back and forth, and he has teed me up with so many different people, and he's brilliant. It's like it's just he's older than I am, but he's got a lot of drive, and he does a lot of roofing stuff, like commercial roofing.
Okay.
And 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 at first, he didn't really talk to me, but then he saw me keep coming to the events, and then he started talking to me. He's like, "What do you really do?" Because I told him, but he really didn't pay attention to me, and that until he could trust me a little bit. But what's cool is about I built this friendship with him, and now it's like I talk with him about every week now.
Yeah.
But and what's cool of it, I didn't even try to sell him anything. I just told him what I'm doing, and it's like, yeah. He said, well, we're here. We'll check it out. And I said, yeah, fine, no pressure. And I said, let me give you in contact with our facility manager, and maybe it's something you can do for us, basically. So I,
Yeah.
toured him around the dealership, met our facility manager, um, and he didn't pitch his total. And I've learned a lot from him. So he didn't try to sell us a whole roof. He had a whole different angle, which I loved. But this relationship, this is the cool thing. That was a long story to get to this point. So, so this is how he gets me in front of people, and this is so cool about building relationship stuff. I mean, I've been to his cookouts and stuff like that, so it's been awesome. So when he presents a customer, like if he goes, like if you own if you own like a big old outfit or whatever, and he works on like the big Amazon buildings and stuff like that. When he goes and pitches his presentation, he has like an aerial shot, and guess what company has of an aerial shot?
You.
Bozard Ford.
Ah, how
And
about
and now he pitches. It's like, hey, this is one of our latest customers. Do you recognize this place? It's like if you
hmm,
know this Bozard Ford, it's like, oh yeah, I know Bozard Ford, and it's like, yeah, I see you got some fleet vehicles. I got a friend I need to connect you with.
there you go. That's how it happens.
It does, and I mean, he's given me three referrals. Um, I've sold three cars. Yeah, I'm a salesman now, Dave. I got three car sales out of this deal.
Oh, Jeremy's going variable. Look out.
Oh,
Oh, man. So these lessons that you're learning along the way, Jeremy, um, from them, obviously you're gaining a lot of knowledge. You're getting knowledge from other people around the country, right? Which because of that, you created a mobile service mastermind
yep.
um, that now you're able to bring those people into a group or separate groups depending on their size and be able to everybody's helping everybody else, right? So it's kind of like your chamber events but for dealerships.
Yep. Exactly. And because it did get to the point, and we started this mastermind either, I believe it was last June or July. And I got to the point where I needed some more input. I needed a different view or a different angle or a different thought. Because we still struggle with a lot of our processes. There's still a lot of stuff that we don't know. Um, we scaled it pretty big now, but there's still some stuff that I need help with. So our idea was like, well, let's bring a bunch of people together. Even with the data, I don't know if we're doing a good job or not because I don't have nobody to compare mobile service to, and it's like, who knows? And so we bring all these dealerships together, and we share numbers basically. So I got a spreadsheet, and we kind of compare it, and we go around the room. It's like, hey, it looks like you doubled your month from month over month. What did you do?
Mhm.
And we kind of review. It's like, hey, I did this right here, and this seems to work. Um, and here's the thing: is like when they joined the group, they thought they was going to learn something from me, and it's like I'm trying to facilitate it, and I'm taking notes, and I'm like, crap, I didn't even think about that, and I'm like, man, this is some good information. Like, we've had Nolan on the show, and and no Nolan, he's a heavy hitter. He knows how to do it, and he's even went off and did an aftermarket version um, of mobile service. And he's telling me it's like, hey, I'm just letting you know there's some opportunities in this, and this. I was like, well, that don't seem very hard to do. He said it's not. I was like, okay.
So and here's a cool thing because Nolan when he was on the show. So Nolan's in your mastermind, right? There to
Yeah.
collaborate and get better with everybody. And Nolan, when he was on the show, was very open about the fact that he's gunning for you. And he's gunning for that number one Ford mobile slot, right? So
Yeah.
you people in that mastermind, and McCluskey was the same way, right?
Yeah.
They want to be the number one mobile service dealer in the country, and you've got them in the mastermind. So
Yeah.
you've got people in there who are actively coming after you, but also willing to get in there and collaborate. That's a pretty cool dynamic.
It really is. So we do have fun about the compet because we're all competitive. It's like I'm a silent competitor. I don't show it, but I do not like to lose. And but it is fun, and the McClusker Group they do, and I want them to be the number one GM mobile service store. And I
Yeah.
had a conversation with Jake earlier this week, and he's getting it dialed in. Everybody's going to see this McCluskey group. They're getting it bought in, and they're doing a great job. He's got a good team around him too. So I'm excited to hear that. But it is cool, because it's like out front, yeah, we're fighting for number one, but then we're not going to sabotage. It's like, hey, just letting you know this worked and this didn't work. kind
Yeah.
of deal. Um, to the point where we exchange leads because a lot of our customers, I can't go all the way up to where Nolan is or where Jake is, but a lot of our customers have a contact down here. Like, Nolan gave me, it's like, hey, here's a contact for this company down here. They need some help in Florida. It's like, oh, perfect. Um,
Yeah.
but it's been a good group. We just bounce around ideas and stuff like that. So it's turned into something pretty cool. And even see the numbers when we first started to where they are now, and you can constantly see them growing and growing to the point where everybody in the group needs more vans. Um, and and one group, the owner won't let him buy another van, so he switched his schedule around, which is so freaking brilliant, to where he has an empty van every day of the week, and then he hired an extra technician that fills their empty van once day a week, and now he just picked up another van without buying a van. And I'm like, so simple, but it's like I did not even think about
Yeah.
that.
That's amazing. And now everybody in that group benefits from that thought, right? And that's, I mean, that was back when Napoleon Hill wrote about having a mastermind, right? That's what he talked about. That one mind and another mind in the same room don't make two. It makes more than two minds when you start putting ideas together. You're bringing them all together in a group. That's super powerful.
Yeah, yeah, we're getting a lot of feedback from a lot of General Motor dealerships with mobile service. So Dave and I have been talking about this, and definitely would like to start a new mastermind group for the dealerships that are just getting into it that need some support. Because when you start mobile service, you don't know what you don't know. Um, and you're going to run into snags and stuff, and it's okay. Somebody's already been through it and
Mhm.
accomplished it. We can save you a lot of time
Right.
by joining these groups and being a part of it.
Yeah, we were just the dealer roadshow was just at Batera's Metro CDJR store up here in Massachusetts, and Felicia Barr, the service director, had their their I don't know what you call them, certified mobile dealer, but they hadn't done mobile service until that week, and we went out and did like 75 enterprise cars, recall cars. That she was like, let's just let's just do it. Let's just go do it. So she went out there, with two technicians to do it, and man, oh man, she was hurting paperwork and everything else. It had to go along with it, and it's I said to her, I'm like, I know somebody who can help you walk through this, right? Who's been through it. So because you don't know what you don't know, right? And it seems simple to get out there and just do a whole bunch of recalls that are parked in one parking lot, but there's a lot that goes around behind the scenes too that you still have to get through.
Yeah, and that's the when I met with this Toyota dealership today, they were asking me questions. I was like, I remember going through that, and I was like, you know what? I remember how that happened. It seems like it's been long ago, but it's only been a couple of years ago. Uh, so it's like sometimes you just like, oh yeah, that's right. That was an issue, and it's like do this, and even yeah, perfect example. This group thought they were doing a bad job with 3 mobile vans, and they told me how much they were doing per van, and I was like, hey, you're doing a good job. I was like, I would love to do what you're doing you know, with that. And
Yeah.
and I'm asking them, it's like, well, how are you doing that many? It's like because in our area, traffic is horrible everywhere, so I have a lot of travel time that I have to overcome. So I'm very not limited, but I have to be very, strategic on how to do some of our stuff. But I was like, man, it's like you're kicking butt, and it's like, oh, I thought we were horrible. I was like, no, you're doing
No,
good.
it, Jeremy, your next buy is not going to be a van. It's going to be one of those the tall things, those flying four propeller car
Yeah.
things. Right? That and you're just going to leave the van somewhere, and your tech's going to fly to the van and eliminate half your drive time.
If I could, that's one thing that we do need to work on is parts delivery drones. Now that you said that, if I could buzz one across town, just you just never know. It's like, ah, crap. Somebody added a Mercedes or a Chevrolet on. I thought I had a filter. It's like, hey, send that drone up there, drop it off, and boom, boom.
Just bring it over and let it go. Let
Yeah,
it drop me down a set of brake pads.
right. It'd be like the Hunger Games where the thing comes down in the parachute.
That would be. I want to be there when that starts happening.
Yeah.
I want to see
But I do have, and maybe next week we could talk about the second thing that we did. We'll save this for next week. But there's I feel like we want to change the dynamics of a dealership, not only just in service, but where it's all. So we could definitely talk more about the second thing that we worked with to kind of create some volume next week.
right,
Because
there's the teaser, folks.
there's the teaser.
Yeah. You want to
He's-
know what the other thing is that Jeremy did to get that volume up. You gotta come and tune in next week.
Yeah, maybe I have to wrangle some people from that department so we can have some more people in here because it's been a blast. Just just thinking of other possibilities. That's when we were meeting with this dealership today. It's like he said, "What made you want to just leave your job in North Carolina and do mobile service?" I was like, "Because nobody could tell me how to do it."
The wrong way. So that's why I did it.
It's like there's no playbook, there's no anything. It's like just go out there and make it happen. I was like, that was a challenge.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's not a lot of those jobs in automotive, and not in the dealership, anyways. Right? They all have pretty defined processes that are an expectation. So, all right, Jeremy, this has been a great episode here, and we got the cliffhanger. If you want to know, we know the first thing that he did, which was get out there and networking events. And there's a second part to that secret sauce that Jeremy will reveal next week. So, Jeremy, any final thoughts here without revealing?
Yeah, we're not revealing the next one, but if you want any information about masterminds or anything mobile service, please reach out to Dave or myself. Even if you got, even to all the vendors out there, if you have some latest and greatest thing that you can help mobile service with and you want to be on our show, definitely reach out to us.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of those vendors out there that may not be specific to mobile service, but could have things that are beneficial to mobile service. So certainly reach out to us and let's have a conversation about how to get you involved with Mobile Service Monday.
Sounds good. Well, we'll see everybody next week.